We wanted to talk about Meatloaf. So for me growing up, Meatloaf and his ability to sing, and I always say this, and I think I said it yesterday, was Meatloaf was a storyteller. Like not just through his songs, but I think this guy could have been a writer, and could have brought forth some of the best books, right? Like he knew how to sing a story. Absolutely fantastic. And not only that, but one of the things I liked is he did so many cameos, right? Like in films and television.
Fight Club.
Fight Club, man. When I think of Fight Club, I remember that scene. Like, I remember I was like, is that Meatloaf? Like, I remember thinking it. And so when he's hugging Edward Norton, like, it's like,
His name was Robert Paulson.
Thank you. And so,
No, they said that in the film a lot.
yeah, his name was Robert Paulson, right?
Was that right? Robert Paulson, right?
Right. And so just absolutely just, I just love Meatloaf.
To add what you said about the storytelling, don't you guys feel like he also had like an opera type voice?
Oh, for sure.
Like
He could have, for sure, like if he had wanted to, he could have.
even his famous song, I'd do anything for love. Like in his music videos, he did have like that story making ability where it was almost like a short film or
Right. There's a clip of him. So, so when it's like, I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. Everyone wanted to know what that
yes.
was. Yeah. And so he says it, and it's in an interview where he says, like basically, going from the lyrics that he's going to love this person for the rest of his life. So when that is meaning he's never going to stop loving this woman. He's never going to not hold her. He's never going to not love her. So that refers to all, like, he won't stop. He loves her. So I just think, like, when you hear it like that, because I always thought, what is that? Like, you won't cheat on her? Like, he's not going to lie to her. What does it mean? But he's saying, like, he's never going to stop.
There's been a lot of jokes.
Yeah. So, I just think that is, like Meatloaf was, and he was an emotional guy. Like, that's the thing. Like, he took things to the heart. And I've been following him for a long time. He did a lot of his posts on Facebook. And a lot of times he would basically say how fans would, and I'm paraphrasing, so these are not direct quotes. But he would say, like, people hurt him, like when they are telling him he looks old, or, he looks too big, or, things like that. And he had an emotional reaction to those things. And so I just kind of thought that was important to bring up, because I think, just as, myself, I'm a woman who has like a lot of scars. I'm overweight. My body shows signs of the stuff I've been through. And for me, that's difficult. So if somebody was to attack me on those things, I think I would have, as much as I can be extremely logical, I think in that moment, like, my first thing would be to be emotional, to react emotionally to it. And I think Meatloaf was a lot like that. He was an emotional being before he was a very logical being. And so I think a lot of his music comes from those things. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to mention that. I think he was an incredible guy, and I think he was very well loved by so many of us. So much of our childhood revolves around the music of Meatloaf. So there's this funny story, and I wish my cousin was on the show. I'm gonna see if she could do a little clip, and maybe we could add it. But it's this really funny story about this Meatloaf song. So I want to tell it, but I feel like I'll screw it up. So I'll just
try your best.
Okay. So my nephew Ross, he had lost a tooth. And he kept waiting all night long, checking under the pillow, is my little gift there, blah, blah, blah. Right. And so it's getting later and later. And Tanya all night long has been singing 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So, like Ross is one of his earliest memories is my cousin Tanya. All of a sudden he sees the shadow coming into the room. And it's a shadow. My cousin's dancing in the room and she's singing the song. And then all of a sudden she tiptoes over to the bed while she's still singing. Can't find the tooth, I think, right after. And then sticks the present under. Underneath the pillow, and it just kills me. It's so funny. So you have to see it. We got to cut out that part of me snorting. But yeah. So my favorite part of that whole story is the shadow on the wall. She's singing, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. And if you know the song, like it's like it is what it is, right? And if I believe it correctly, she was singing it for her ex-husband, right? So anyway, I gotta see if she'd be willing to record herself telling this story.
That reminds me of the smiling man that is creepily dancing in the street.
Oh, right, and like car dealerships and stuff, right? So she's a much better dancer than I am, but I should see if Ross would record a little clip, and then if she would record a little clip. But it's all about that Meatloaf song, and it just makes me laugh so hard. But anyway, Lulu, did you want to say anything?
I have 2 quotes.
Okay.
Our quote queen.
So I have one. The first one is, dreams they come and go, but thought like love will always grow.
Wow.
Aww.
I love that.
Yeah. And the second one is a good one too. When your name is on the marquee, I think that's a word.
Okay, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. You either get the glory or you get the hits.
That's a good one. You either get the glory or you get the hits. Wow. The man was a poet. Even that quote is pretty deep.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
He really was. He had a lot of
he was
his heart, man. Because the thing is, I think the best writers, the best teachers, the best, the most creative people in life are those. I think in a lot of times you really have to have a broken heart or a broken soul to really be able to feel the things that he sang or the stories he told.
Well, he's been through some things. Yeah.
He's
definitely been through some things. And I want to go back to really quick what Sonny said about again, just because you're on the internet and just because someone is a celebrity, where do these people get off saying the things that they say? It affects people.
Yeah.
The fact that he was even saying the things that have been said to him, I don't understand how anyone gets off telling someone that, oh, you look old or you look heavy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What do you look like exactly? Hit him behind.
Yeah. Show us. The thing is, we all have scars, we all have hurts, we all have flaws, we all have hidden things within inside us that we've never shared to the world.
Not every.
So, so for anyone to pick on somebody else, I'll say it once, I'll say it 100 times. The only people I hate in the world are pedophiles. But with everybody else, man, I will love and respect you. I will love and respect you, and so for these people who have never been taught, especially people who claim to have been hurt or broken, where do you get off talking about anybody? Just because someone's a celebrity or anything, it does not mean they have an invisible shield where things fall off of them, right? I wanted to share a quote that I personally really like. And for me, it kind of goes back to his heart and really loving someone. But it says, maybe I'm damned if I do, but with every other beat I got left in my heart, I'd rather be damned with you.
Wow.
I think that's I don't know, that just gets me.
I
So
really like his quotes. The first one Lulu read was really beautiful that he wrote.
oh, absolutely.
But I think Meatloaf. First of all, I want to say Meatloaf was, if there was a soundtrack to my life when I was younger, he was up there. Mr. He was known as the Bat Out of Hell. Although I didn't see him as a bat out of hell.
Right.
I think he was one of the few singers that when he sang any song, it was 110. You felt his feelings, man.
Yeah.
110%. And you felt the emotion behind the words that he was singing. And even the I can't even tell you how many times I cannot sing, but I would do anything for love is a song that has been with me since it came out. Not since it came out. I think that song came out in the early 90s. So probably hit me middle school, high school. But it was one of those that you kept replaying. You would get a cassette tape, if you were my age, kids, a cassette tape, and record it off the radio. And so one of those. But
Had to hit
actually,
record in time.
yes. But it was actually
valid.
exactly. And it ended up being one of the few, I think, cassettes and then CDs that I actually bought, and I think I might still have them somewhere around here. But so many of his songs helped me personally get through some rough times and look at things differently, because his lyrics were they were very deep and hit you right in the heart, got you in the soul. He was his voice was it really was like an opera. Like, I can't explain it, but it was almost like he was doing a different type of opera, if that makes sense.
Right. His voice was beautiful. So he could have been up there with I know I really wanted to emphasize it. But he could have been up there with anybody and blew them out of the water. I think like his voice was really remarkable. And I just want to say real quick, I want to get her name. Now he did duets with several different people.
Yeah, he did.
But Bonnie Tyler, I believe, was one of them. But there was one song, "It's All Coming Back to Me Now." Like that's that's a good one. Dead Ringer. So when he's singing these love songs, he's feeling it so deep within him that you feel it with him, along with him. So your heart is breaking with him. So, anyway, I just think he was just one of the most beautiful singers in the world. And his songs were so very different. So, because like I said, he was a storyteller. With most people, you hear the first couple chords and then that's it, it's right into a song. But with him, he would do little things and you were like, wow.
I thought for some reason he duetted with Celine Dion too, but I could be.
Well, I know she sang his song, "It's All Coming Back to Me Now."
Yeah, right? I know that. Yeah.
I couldn't have said it better myself. That's one of my favorite songs. I was looking for it. I was like, what is the name of it? Oh, and he did perform with Pavarotti in 1995.
There you go. That's it. Pavarotti. Okay.
Yeah. So, and I happen to think Meatloaf was not a bad looking dude. I like that he was a little bigger and, I think there's some sexiness to that. And I think he held his own. Whether he realized it or not, I think he was a good looking dude.
I thought he had a handsome face. I think, yeah, never mind just that, but that guy wore his heart on his sleeve, man. You could tell he was a good dude. You could just, you could tell about. And he was another one. I mean, both of you. I mean, have you heard bad things about Meatloaf? You know what I'm saying?
No, I've not heard bad things about Meatloaf.
He was another one that was just you only heard good stories, things that he did for people, and he was just fans that met him. All had great experiences. It wasn't I think he genuinely cared for human beings.
Well, I was gonna say I went to what was it called? Motor City Comic Con in Michigan a couple years ago. I think it was 2019 because I had my transplant in 2018. So it must have been 2019. And so I remember being really disappointed because Meatloaf canceled. And I was like, man, talk about a bucket list. And then it never happened. I never got to meet him. But I remember being so disappointed because I had really wanted that experience.
He passed away from COVID. He was only 74, which is still, pretty young. I feel like he still had a lot of life left in him. And did you girls want to add anything?
Just that I will absolutely miss Meatloaf. I will miss his music. I will miss his posts on Facebook. And I am grateful that we are left with movies and cameos and things like that will get to stay with us, for a long time to come.
Very well said. So much good Meatloaf content. It's going to be sad we don't get new content, but again, rest in peace to Meatloaf. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family, friends, his fans, and he definitely left his mark, and he left us with some great, touching, beautiful, unique music that we can listen to and help keep that legacy alive. So rest in peace, Meatloaf. Thank you for your gift of song, beautiful writing, storytelling.
Your gift of storytelling.
Yeah, and your amazingly big heart that was felt. And we love you, and we'll miss you, and rest in peace.